Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion on the importance of self care and building healthy habits. In our busy and demanding lives, we often focus on responsibilities, work, and helping others while forgetting to take care of ourselves. Self care is not a luxury, it is a necessity for maintaining our physical, mental, and emotional well being. Healthy habits are the small daily actions that shape our future, whether it is eating nutrition food, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, or managing stress. These habits help us live healthier, happier, and more productive lives. By investing in ourselves, we build the foundation for long term success and well being. Today we will explore why self-care matters, how healthy habits improve our lives, and practical ways to create positive routines that support our overall health and happiness. So we start with Maya for our conversation.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi Maya, hello.
Hi, it's great to hear from you. How have you been since we last talked?
Today we talk about the importance of self-care and building healthy habits.
I love that. It's so easy to let self care slide when you're busy, especially with everything you've got going on with your teacher training. Do you feel like you've been making time for yourself lately, or has it been a
Uh,
bit of a struggle?
yeah, yes. My question is, why
I
is
totally.
self-care important?
I think the biggest thing is that you can't pour from an empty cup. When you're constantly giving your energy to your students and your studies, you eventually hit a wall. Self care isn't just about the treat yourself moments, it's about maintaining your mental and physical baseline so you don't burn out. Does that resonate with how things have been feeling for you?
How does self-care improve mental and physical health?
Mentally, it's like hitting the reset button for your brain. It lowers your cortisol levels, which is that stress hormone that makes you feel all wired and anxious. When you take a break, you actually give your mind a chance to process everything instead of just staying in survival mode. Physically, it's often the difference between waking up feeling rested and waking up feeling exhausted before the day even starts. It helps with sleep quality and keeps your immune system from crashing. I'm curious, when you think of self care, does it feel more like a luxury or a necessity to you?
Why do people often neglect self-care?
Hmm. I think a lot of it comes down to the guilt. People often feel like if they aren't working or being productive every second, they're failing. Especially for someone like you who's dedicated to helping others learn, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your own needs come last. Plus, there's this weird societal pressure to wear burnout like a badge of honor, which just isn't sustainable. Do you ever feel that pressure to keep going even when you're exhausted?
Okay. What is the connection between self-care and stress management?
They're essentially two sides of the same coin. Stress management is more about how you handle the pressure in the moment, like taking a deep breath when a class gets chaotic. Self care is the long term strategy that builds your resilience so that the pressure doesn't hit you as hard in the first place. It's like the difference between putting out a fire and fireproofing your house. I wonder if you've found any specific activities that actually make you feel like the stress is leaving your body.
Okay. What are healthy habits?
Healthy habits are basically the small, consistent things you do that support your overall well being over time. I'm talking about things like getting a decent amount of sleep, staying hydrated, moving your body, and setting boundaries around your work. The key is that they're healthy because they provide net gain for your energy and mood rather than draining you. Do you have any habits right now that you feel really keep you grounded?
How long does it take to build a new habit?
You've probably heard the common rule of thumb that it takes 21 days. But the truth is, it's actually way more varied than that. Depending on what you're trying to do, it can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months. It really depends on the complexity of the habit and how often you're doing it. I'm curious, is there a specific habit you're looking to start right now?
How can healthy eating and drinking improve daily life?
It's basically fuel for your brain and body. When you're eating well and staying hydrated, you've got a steadier flow of energy throughout the day instead of those midday crashes that make it impossible to focus. It also has a huge impact on your mood. Your gut health is closely tied to your brain, so when you're eating things that actually nourish you, it's much easier to stay positive and handle stress. Do you find that your energy levels dip at certain times of the day?
How does mindfulness contribute to self care?
Mindfulness is kind of like the anchor for all other self care. It allows you to actually notice when you're running on empty before you hit a total breaking point. Instead of just pushing through the exhaustion, mindfulness helps you pause and realize, wait, I'm actually really stressed right now, which is the first step toward actually doing something about it. I've noticed it turns self care from something you do on a schedule into something you do because you actually need it. Do you feel like you're usually aware of your stress levels as they're happening, or do you tend to notice them only after you're completely worn out?
What is emotional self care?
Emotional self care is all about giving yourself the space to process and honor your feelings instead of just pushing them down. It's things like journaling, talking to a friend, or even just letting yourself be sad or frustrated without judging yourself for it. It's basically making sure your internal world is as looked after as your physical one. Do you think you're generally better at taking care of your physical needs, like sleep, or your emotional ones?
How can journaling support mental wellness?
That's a really sensitive and important question. When children want to help, the most powerful thing they can do is just be a supportive, loving presence. They can't be therapists or fix the illness, but they can offer simple things like a drawing, a hug, or just sitting quietly with the person. The biggest thing is making sure the child understands that they aren't responsible for the illness or for making the person feel better. That's a lot of weight for a kid to carry. Since you're in teacher training, do you see this as something you'd want to be able to support your students with in the classroom?
Why is setting boundaries important?
Boundaries are basically your personal do not disturb sign for your mental health. They prevent you from overextending yourself and becoming resentful because you're saying yes to everyone else while saying no to your own needs. When you have clear boundaries, you actually have more quality energy to give the people you care about because you aren't giving from a place of depletion. Do you find it difficult to say no to people when they ask for your help?
What are the signs of burnout?
Burnout usually starts as a slow creep before it hits you all at once. Physically, you might feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep, or find yourself getting sick more often because your immune system is just shocked. Mentally, it's that feeling of cynicism or detachment, where things you used to love, like teaching, start to feel like a chore or just plain draining. You might also notice a shorter fuse than usual, where small things suddenly feel overwhelming. Do you feel like any of those sound familiar, or are you just keeping an eye out for the red flags?
How can self care help prevent burnout?
I'm guessing you mean self care, right? It's basically your defense system. By consistently filling your cup through those healthy habits and boundaries we talked about, you're preventing the total depletion that leads to burnout. It stops you from reaching that point of no return where you're just completely numb to your work. I've heard that for teachers, having a dedicated transition ritual between school and home can be a huge part of that. Have you ever tried something like that?
How can graduate improve well being?
Um, I'm not entirely sure I follow. Were you asking about how a child's physical health and weight impact their overall well-being or something else entirely?
Okay. How
I
can
just wanted to make sure I was on the same page as you. Since we were talking about self-care, did you want to continue with that, or is there something else on your mind?
okay?
I'll let you take the lead then. What's
How
on your
can
mind?
how can small changes lead to big results?
It's kind of like the compound interest of personal growth. When you make one tiny shift, like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning or taking 3 deep breaths before class, it doesn't feel like much in the moment. But when you do it every day, those small wins build momentum and change your baseline. Suddenly, you're not just surviving the day, you're actually operating from a place of strength. Do you feel like you're the kind of person who prefers a total overhaul of your routine, or do you like the idea of just tweaking things one by one?
Okay, thank you, Maya.
You're so welcome. It was a great chat. I'm here whenever you want to dive into another topic.
Thanks. And thank you all for joining this discussion on the importance of self care and building healthy habits. Remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it is one of the most valuable investment you can make. Every healthy choice, no matter how small, brings you one step closer to happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. May we all learn to prioritize our well being, create positive habits, and show ourselves the same care and kindness that we offer to others. Thank you for your time, attention, and participation. Wishing you good health, happiness, balance, and success in all that you do. Have a wonderful day.
That
Thanks.
what? Yay.